Delaware County Board of Commissioners is back in session, and we are hearing the community grant enhancement grant presentations. And next up is Kathy Hoff from People in Need. Kathy, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me here, Commissioners. Greatly appreciate and the opportunity to speak to you about what we're doing at People in Need and what our grant request is all about. I shared with you a quick summary of our mobile market. And this was a pilot last year in 2021. I did bring hard copies should anybody want hard copies as well.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Okay. That would be great. We can...
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, last year in our pilot, we scheduled 3 visits throughout the county, and the visits that we scheduled were based on areas that were identified as food deserts by the Hunger Alliance of Delaware County, of which I co-chair. And Ashley ended up being the one location that we returned to. And while there is 2 agencies in Ashley, Sharing is Caring and Buckeye Valley Food Pantry, both of those are volunteer-driven completely. Even their executive director is a volunteer. So the ability to have as much protein, produce, and other items and canned items is very limited for them because they're doing it on a very limited amount of hours. So last year we decided to go out to the different, Ashley and Ostrander, and we brought with us food items, produce, meat, and fans, and we also brought 2 or 3 staff members that could talk about people in need and all the services we provided. So statistically, we served 191 households, and of that, it was 38 new families. Those families continued to use People in Need and other resources that we had once they became aware of it. So whether they attended the next produce market that we had or the next mobile market that we had or became a part of a holiday clearinghouse, they became familiar with the services that we offered and what's available to them. We partnered a lot last year because that was also a time period where the health district was trying to get out to do their COVID shots with the community. So they actually attended all 3 of the sessions that we went out, in addition to other partnerships they had at our produce market. We also had SourcePoint with us, and SourcePoint is where I actually started thinking about we need a better vehicle to get us to where we need to go to be able to do these produce markets effectively, or mobile markets. SourcePoint, when they come out, they have a van and it has a retractable awning, and when we're going in our box van, it takes about an hour to set up before we go, and another hour once we get there, because we're setting up tents, we're setting up tables, and it's very cumbersome to be able to do a mobile market. Now this year, because we actually have already gone through the process, we've done a lot of improvements. So we've more than doubled the amount of visits that we're going out. We have 7 different sites already set up that we're doing throughout this year. We've built on our partnerships. We actually have coordinated with a couple of churches in the area. Sharing is Caring is one of our locations that we'll be going to. The Kilbourne Pantry, we're partnering with them because that's another area that needs assistance. And then we're actually going down to Lewis Center. And we chose Lewis Center based on where we saw a strong population growth of the use of our services at People in Need, but it also has an area of food desert. And while there are it's more congested area, there's not, in some of the congested areas, grocery stores aren't close by to people. While we have it set up this year to go out again, we are not bringing with us, last year we brought coolers, and we would put meat in the coolers, and we really had to distribute what we took with us, no matter how many people came to that site, because it was frozen food that we had in coolers, and you can't refreeze, and let something thaw and then refreeze it. So this year, we're not using the coolers, we're doing other forms of protein as we go out in the community, and then we're gonna make people aware of what we have. But the other great part that we're doing in addition is when we go out to each one of the areas, we've coordinated a relationship with DoorDash, which is called Project Dash, who will, if we have locations that we bring food to, they will do a 10-mile radius, and it's an in-kind donation. It's a part of their philanthropic efforts throughout the United States.
Gosh, that's great.
Yeah, so it'll allow us to distribute food even more. So our mobile market, that cargo van that we would like to get, which we are almost there. We have funding already secured from Greif, Kroger Foundation, and the Hunger Alliance of United Way is allowing to let us use portions, should we need it, of our grant to get this in place to be able to serve more. So this cargo mobile van will have a retractable awning to make it easy to serve and be out in the conditions. It will also have a freezer unit and a refrigerator unit. I obtained 3 quotes from 3 different vendors. I would prefer to go with our local Jeep Chrysler dealer, only because they're local. I like to put my money back local, but also they are helping other businesses in the area and as they design this. So the refrigeration unit, the retractable awning, we're keeping all the money within Delaware County. We can go out more frequently. We'll be able to serve people meat again because there won't be any waste. We also, we're limited right now. When school starts, our weekend backpack program takes our box truck for a day, and we load it the night before. So we have limitations during the school year of how often we can do things of that nature. This will allow us to be able to do things throughout the entire year and not through May through September. Any questions?
Yeah, Kathy, thanks. How do you identify, how do the families who need food assistance, how do they become aware of this mobile market opportunity, I guess?
Okay. Well, one of the things we'll do is we'll share it through our networking through the Hunger Alliance, so that's a part of it. Okay. We also do a lot of social media advertising, and we encourage shares for all our followers when we do this sort of thing. And then we'll also use some of our partners in the various areas to help us promote. So sharing is caring. We'll put signs up around Ashley for us. And then when we're down in Lewis Center, we're actually going to be at the Lewis Center United Methodist Church. So we'll have information distributed down there. And we can also give information to the Kroger that's down in that area to help distribute information. Okay. And Kilbourne Pantry will be sharing it with the people who utilize their services as well.
So how many trips do you envision from May 31st to September 1st with the van?
Well, for this year, we have 7 set up.
Okay, so that's what the 7 visits
This
means.
is with the box truck that we currently have.
7 visits total?
Yes.
Not 7 visits per location?
No, 7
Okay.
visits total. Because this is in addition to the pantry being open 3 days a week, produce markets at the end of the month. You know, that's, right now, that's what we can do. When we move, when we have a vehicle where we can go more frequently, if we need to employ a part-time person, we may do that. I've actually been also talking with AARP and have filled out an application to get a receptionist for people in need within their program, and that may be another option, that if I find I need a driver, I may be able to work through their government program for that as well.
Boy, that's great.
So is 50,000 the total ask, or is that what you need to finish out? Because you said you had 2 or 3 other contributors.
50,000 is what I need to complete it. We have, the quote that I shared in my request, I think it was around 68,000, but that's not with everything. So it doesn't include the shelving, it doesn't, and actually it was back in March, so I don't even know.
So 68,000 are total needs, is that what you said?
That's what the quote is from Jeep Chrysler Performance, but that's not without the shelving and we want to, on our van, be able to thank all our sponsors and have everyone's logo that helped make this happen. So that will be the other part. So when it's all said and done, it'll be between $85,000 and $100,000.
So the bulk of the ask is with the county, because the other 2 or 3, obviously, if we're 50, and let's say it's 85, that's 35 divided, that's about 10 grand each.
We have $30,000 from Greif, $20,000 from Kroger Foundation.
Okay, it's 50,000, and you said it's about 85 with the shelving and everything, is that what I heard?
Between $85,000 and $100,000.
And you've got 50 committed.
Yes.
I'm going to ask this question. I don't know how to ask. I'll just be direct. There's a number of organizations that provide food, plus there's food stamps. Sometimes I'm observing from a distance about duplication and the same clients asking from 2 or 3 different organizations. How is that managed by the groups?
Well, the larger organizations track all their information through Pantry Track, which is what's called Fresh Track now, through United Way. And when we distribute food, or when LSS distributes food, or when Delaware City Vineyard distributes food, it is never a full week's supply of food. So ours is a 4-day supply, LSS is a 3-day supply. So should they need assistance with food more frequently, it is not looked down upon by Mid-Ohio Food Bank for people to utilize several different options within their community if that's what they need.
And what about the food stamps they get? Does that take it into consideration or not?
No. When people come to, if you're managed by Mid-Ohio Food Bank, when they come to our pantry, there's a form that they fill out electronically or paper, and they indicate they fall within these income guidelines based on what their family size is. And they sign and date for the food part of things.
One last question. You said you do about 7 days now, so how many days would you do with the new truck? How many additional days would you be doing?
It would be my goal I would want us going out throughout the year, and I would want us going out at least 2 times per month, if not more than 2 times per month. If we end up having a part-time person who does that on a regular basis, I'd like to see us going out on a monthly basis. And if you get a route going, you might be able to do 2 or 3 in the same day.
So your ask to us is basically the 50, because that would bring you up, you've already gotten 50, and then with the extra things that you're going to need, I mean, you're going to need those things. And you said that would be between 85,000 and 100.
Yes.
Yeah.
The farmer's truck, which is another quote that I received, was $125,000.
Okay, boy. And as things go, I mean, inflation and, yeah. Yeah.
And we're making sure to partner with the smaller agencies in that area, so it's not where they're going to 2 different places. We're distributing together.
Okay. Any other questions? No, I think I'm good. What I like about it is, well, you've started the outreach with the box truck, and now you'll really be able to extend that outreach to a lot more people who can't travel very
Yes.
far for whatever reason, lack of transportation, cost of gas. So, thank you.
And I did bring
Yeah.
the schedule that we have for this year, if that's something else you would like to
Oh,
have.
sure, yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Thank you.
You said too, as we were talking about the numbers of families that you're serving is going up. You said it was very high during the pandemic, about 400.
Yes. During the height of the pandemic, we were serving 400 households a week through our food pantry. And it did, over the last 2021, it started going down to where it was a more manageable number of 200 to 250 households. And then since, I want to say, April time period, we watched it build a little bit, January, February, but it really started building in April. And just this week so far, we're going to be over 300 households that we served.
How many?
We did have over 300 households.
Over 300.
We had a produce market yesterday that had 138 households that we served.
Wow, the need
And then we
is-
served 58 in the morning prior to the produce market starting.
boy, the need is there. That's,
The other area that we have on our radar too is in the Westerville area, Harlem area. That's also another pocket that I've been made aware of by Mid-Ohio Food Bank, as well as when I was at the Women Giving Together presentation, they shared with me that that's an area that they see has a higher need. There's a few trailer areas.
right, right, yes. Thank you so much, you're doing a great job.
Thank you. I
To
appreciate it.
all the volunteers.
Oh,
Yes.
gosh.
Thank you very much.
And your staff, thank you.
Yeah, take that down. I'll just queue up the next one. It's not gonna
Okay.
be that'll be the last.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you can take it off
All
the
right.
screen.
Purple again. You're purple. There we go.
Okay. Next up, we have Women's City Club and Mary Ann Davis. Welcome, Mary Ann.
Thank you, it's nice to see you all again.
Oh, good to see you too.
I have something for you. I just received yesterday a letter from Reverend Powers, that was a chaplain at Ohio Wesleyan for years, and I put it on top because I read this letter that he wrote, and it made me cry. Because I looked at the Women's City Club, and I've been involved with Women's City Club for 30 years, and I looked at it from...
To be heard, you're going to have to be at the mic, because no one's going to pick this up.
Yeah, we'll have you go back up to the mic, so, but thank you for the letter. If you could just reintroduce yourself, Mary Ann.
Oh, sure. I'm Mary Ann Davis from the Women's City Club, and I'm president of the Women's City Club Foundation.
Okay.
And I brought a little bit of, a few things here for you. What we're looking for right now, and I know you've helped us before in the past, and we really appreciate it because it was more money than what we could raise. And if you come to the City Club for anything, you will see the wonderful windows. And we replaced the windows in the dining room and the solarium last year with the big palladium windows in the back. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them.
Oh, wonderful.
And it is gorgeous. So in the dining room, 2 windows have storm windows on the outside because we couldn't afford to buy opening windows on the outside. And in the middle, it does open. We're putting a little porch out there. So for when we have events, it will be even nicer. And an entrance from the back, besides the ramp, or instead of having to go in the kitchen. So we really appreciate it. It looks
Oh,
wonderful, and our heating bill's gone down a whole lot. But this time, I'm asking for something different, and it's not really to beautify the City Club. It's really a necessity. You know, we house 10 women of low income, working women, low income, and we've been doing it since 1954, all volunteers. We have no federal money, no state money, no county money, no city money. We've done it just with volunteers and the help from you and occasionally other people too that give us some grant money. But right now what we're asking for is, we have only 2 bathrooms for 10 women. This is their residence. They live there, you know, all year round. I mean, so and they're working women, so they have to go to work every day. They have to get ready to go to work. And I don't know if you guys might not realize this, but 10 women using 2 bathrooms is just unbelievable. The bathroom we have on the 2nd floor is big. It has not been updated. It's been painted and cleaned, of course, but it hasn't been updated since it was a fraternity house in 1954. And so what we want to do is update that bathroom and take a little bit of the room next door. Room 5 is really big. It must have been the master bedroom at one time. And it's 21 feet long and 14 feet wide with a walk-in closet beyond that. So it's really a big room. What we want to do is take the bed, and if you look in your little packet there, there's a drawing that we had an architect do for us, or designer maybe, a couple years ago. It's blown up. This is the existing bathroom, but enhanced. This was what we were going to do initially before the pandemic hit. And then we decided, well, you know, we could take a little bit of room from this great big bedroom and we could have 2 toilets, 2 showers, and 2 sinks. So we could actually have enough room for 2 women to get ready in that bathroom at the same time. Never happened. Lots of arguments, lots of screaming, hurry up, I gotta get in there. So with this drawing, and this is the drawing that we had before the pandemic, and the people that are gonna do this for us said it would cost $40,000. I take that back. It would cost $50,000. $40,000 they were gonna donate to us, and $10,000 we would pay for. Unfortunately, because of the pandemic and because of staffing and backup and all these other things, they can't help us anymore. So what we're asking, if you could help us with $40,000. This project is going to cost more than that because it requires taking down some more walls and also routing more plumbing down to the basement. So I estimate that instead of the $50,000 they said, it's probably going to be more like $70,000. And we have some money put aside, but probably not for the whole thing. Well, definitely not for the whole thing. But if you could help us out with 40, and we can put our money to it, we can at least get the majority of this work done. And, you know, over time, maybe finish the rest of it. But we really do need more working bathroom space for the women. The bathroom on the 3rd floor is very small. It would be the same size that you might find in an apartment. A shower tub, a sink, toilet, all close together. This room is big, and we have room. We'll get rid of where the urinal was from the fraternity house. We haven't used that. But just update it, put a closet in, a couple different things. So that's what we have. What do you think?
All right. Questions?
Not really. I mean, I understand the need and
Yeah.
so on, so.
I want you to read the letter from John Powers. It is.
Oh, we will.
It is so, literally, I got tears in my eyes when I read it. He emailed it to me yesterday. And when I read it, and you probably all know him, he's been very active in the community. I just saw it from a different point of view. And I'd like you to look at it that way too.
Sure. Commissioner Merrill, any?
I have nothing.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank
We will-
you.
And thank you very much for the information, and I see the diagram here at the end of his letter with the,
This
Yeah.
is from, this is from the
Uh-huh.
architects and designers.
okay,
All right?
great.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah. Thanks,
Thank
Mary.
you.
Thank you very much. All right, thank you for coming.
Use the clicker here to change the slides.
All right, thank you so much.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Carrie Joy, thank you very much. We have the Unity Community Center.
Yes, so my name is Carrie Joy Coit, and I am the Executive Director of Unity Community Center. And we submitted a grant, but first, I want to talk about what you guys have already helped us do. So, as we all know, it's established in 2010. We made a lot of changes in 2020, basically rebranding to Unity Community Center, because originally a Second Ward Community Initiative, there was a lot of thought that it was only for residents in the Second Ward and that it was only for Black people in the Second Ward. Well, what I discovered in my time here in Delaware is that we're servicing 70% Caucasian population, so that concept was very thrown out the window. And so I wanted to make sure that we rebranded so that people knew we were different and that we were beginning to promote unity within Delaware residents and within the county. So, and also some exclusivity. The other thing that changed was our STEAM program went to our STEAM education model. So that's another change. And so with that change, we have our STEAM education. So within the 6 years from when you originally began to fund the STEAM program, there's only 3 children who've graduated from that original 6-year group. And so they're doing magnificent things. We're going to get to that. But in the last year, STEAM mentored over 50 students. This is not including our partnership with an agency out of Powell, which was established by some students called Heads Up Mentoring, where there's about 300 to 400 students in which Megan Bailey, our Director of Education, coordinates and matches people with. So this is not including that number of those students getting matched for tutoring. This is the in-person numbers. So there's a difference. And I only count those because I think tutoring varies. You know, you might have 40 kids sign up this month, but 20 improved in 3 months. So quarterly, those numbers change. But on average, a year, we average about 300 students in our mentorship program. Also during our changeover, STEAM began to participate in weekend activities. So clubs, building bridges, which we all know, coding, drone flying, and the one that is really fun for everybody now is the soapbox derby. And what we learned too is that we're looking forward to trying to get a partnership with JEGS as well to do some NASCAR education because there's a lot of science in that. And we will be the first in the county, and I believe the only in the state of Ohio, that would have these simulators as well as we move forward. The other things that we also began to do with the switch from SWCI to UCC is build partnerships with the LGBTQ+ community and developmental disabilities. So this year was our first year that when we hosted our Christmas party that we had a nice sized group of people from developmental disabilities agency that we provided gifts for during the Christmas time, which we did gifts for over 377 individuals. And they got about 15 to 18 gifts apiece so that they got to select. So something else that we do that's a little bit differently, we believe that even though you're impoverished, we need to provide you with dignity. So we allow the children to pick out their own gifts. This is not something they come and it's prepackaged, here you take it, and your kid just has to like it. These kids actually get to go shopping for themselves, and they got to pick out each and every one of those gifts, and we feed them, and it's a really great time. So these are some of the things that the dollars from the county has gone to, and in various ways, not just through the STEAM program, but through our partnership. STEAM Success. This is one of our STEAM Success students, and I hope that you'll have time to look over her resume, as I'm not going to obviously go over that. But we did graduate 3 students from the original program, which all have been awarded scholarships and achieved status of 25% in their graduating class. And here's another success story. And as you can see, both of these students were extremely active in Delaware County and their community and everything they did. One student was from Buckeye Valley, the other one was from Delaware Hayes that I highlighted in this PowerPoint. So what's next? That's what we're here to talk about. STEAM project focused on science. Now, we've been really strongly focused on engineering, but we're moving along to the other parts of STEAM. So in order to do that, I couldn't think of another way to do it but what we've already been doing, drones. You know, it's like drones are the new thing. And you even use those in your advertisements when you're going over the city. You employ a person who knows how to drive a drone, fly a drone, not drive a drone, fly a drone, and then they get all this magnificent stuff. Well, our goal is to do 10 students, as long as you're 16 and up, you become FAA certified. So this will help increase employment for 16-year-olds and up within Delaware County. Now, I only picked 10 because obviously we always got to start with a pilot, right? We got to see how this is going to fly, okay? So we doing 10 students. So this is also our goal, also to increase jobs for those who are impoverished with the certification. And this also pays for the curriculum for the money that we're asking in the budget. So this is not our curriculum. We are purchasing a curriculum and they will be instructed by a certified person. And we're going to do that through Unity Community Center. And the great thing about this is, could you imagine if a 16-year-old gets a drone FAA certification and then they're legally able to be employed and they can make up to $51,000 a year, you know? And for some of those parents, this can be life-changing for generational poverty. It really can. Part of this also, we will need obviously laptops and other coding items for the drones and things of repair. So that's part of what I also included in the budget. I love this little girl. I love Kiki. So the other thing we were thinking about doing, which is part of the arts, focus on the arts, we're going to talk about language arts. We're looking to try to get 25 Delaware County residents bilingual. And this is also part of the budget, which will be paying for the curriculum and also helping Delaware County increase its ability to have employed people who speak more than one language. The county of Delaware is growing. We're becoming more diversified. We have multiple language spoken here. And I know that everybody's searching for those people who can speak Somali or speak Tutu or, you know, these other languages. And so we're looking to get beyond Spanish, but also getting to some of the other languages that we do have here in Delaware County. The arts portion is also going to include dance. We have been wanting to put babies in ballet, tutus, and this is one of them who has been begging us to do that. Her family is not able to pay for ballet classes, and there's not scholarships available at the local agencies that provide these classes here in Delaware County. So what we're looking to do is we have volunteer instructors for all of these classes. UCC is currently ran by all volunteers. None of us are paid employees. So we're looking at ballet. We're even doing a Zumba class June 4th, and we're going to have a survey taken so that the community can kind of tell us some of the classes they would like to see. With all the things we're presenting to you, we are also surveying the community to see what are they interested in. This is not us deciding what we're going to do. This is the community saying, these are things we would love to do that we can't afford to do, but we want to do these things. And also, we always want to keep and strive better health outcomes too. So the more people move, we decrease in our health inequities, our health disparities, and other things we fight with the social determinants of health. Sorry, I have multiple roles in my life. Painting. This is going to be the fun one too. Ohio Wesleyan University, as you know, already put a mural on the building. And so we want to be able to provide these art classes with Ohio Wesleyan University's partnership to where they're going to continue to paint murals on the building of UCC. And we're really looking forward to that. The space needs a little fixing. So the space we're going to be using is part right now is cold storage space. So the things that I'm asking also on this is some of the things we need that are going to make it access to the bathroom, because there's like a way you have to get to the bathroom. We only have two, but we can open up the other side of the restroom to where you can enter it on either side. And so we want to do some things like that. We also need to add lighting and the painting and the finishes and things like that of the walls, some storage things, and the flooring for dance. Now, I did submit to the State Representative Sean Stevens' office for another grant that would cover the majority of this construction cost, but not only for this space, but also throughout the center of UCC. We are trying to make this building feel like home and give the equitable space to those in the underserved population. It's extremely important for people in the underserved population to come to a place that's just as nice as the Y within their own neighborhoods. And that's something we strive to do, once again, with dignity. Now, so the funding request for the STEAM education project is $66,917. This will provide 35 certified new positions within the county, either bilingual or the FAA. And then we're looking, and I lowballed the number, 50 to 75 arts participants. Once the space is taken up, I mean, we already have 30 people enrolled right now in our line dancing. So I really did keep it low on the numbers because I don't know how many girls I'm gonna get. But I know that the instructor is willing to teach 3 classes of 10. Well, that's 30. Zumba's willing to teach 3 classes of 20. So, you know what I mean? So the numbers are really high. It just all depends on how well we get this space to be able to accommodate everyone there. And I would like to say that 2 of these pictures are my grandkids. So, and And the middle one is Rochelle's son, but that is my granddaughter. And the room that they're in is a room that the Boy Scouts did. They recreated this, we called it a quiet space for those children who have high sensory issues. So this is an area where they can go in when their parents are participating in programs, and we created a space for them while their parents participate, because the other thing we have issue with the underserved population is childcare. It's really hard to participate in something if nobody watches the kids or you have to pay for daycare. So we do provide free daycare while you're participating in classes. So this is a little glimmer of that room as well. And Joe Bobbitt and his son did this as one of his projects with our Boy Scout troop, and his wife did pass away, and this room is in honor of her as well. So that is our presentation. Are there any questions?
I have a couple of questions, man.
Sure.
I'm a little confused. This 66,000, is that for remodeling, or is that for remodeling and supplies and cost of instructors?
The $66,000 is going to include what it costs for us to get the people certified through FAA. So that is the curriculum purchase. That curriculum costs money. We don't have that. Nobody's certified. So the curriculum costs for that program and for the foreign language program. So this is inclusive of both of those curriculum costs and the instruction of those curriculum costs, because those people have to provide us the instruction for that. The other cost is for the supplies, the ballet bar, the sound system, some new flooring, and the plumbing things. This is not covering the construction costs. The grant that I submitted through the House of Representatives for 68 is the construction cost. This is kind of the beautification cost to that construction cost. But this is also the minimum of what we can do to get that space kind of together, the safety railing and all those things, because we don't want anybody falling from the second floors. It's a split level.
So if you don't get the construction grant from the state, does that impact the request you're making? That's the curriculum, the foreign language, and supplies?
I highly doubt it. I have submitted over $500,000 in grants in the first quarter. So I don't know which one will come in. We have a $5,000 grant we submitted to Menards. It will just change our labor cost. So instead of us being able to pay for the labor cost for the construction, we would be dependent on volunteers, and that's where the finances would change.
Now, that building, as I recall, I've taken a tour of the building. That is owned by the city.
Yes.
Have you asked the city to participate in this?
We have made the city aware of our changes, and we've gotten their approval.
But you're not asking them for support financially?
They provide a $5,000 city grant to us that goes toward the STEAM program and other programs through it. So it's undesignated funds, but it doesn't contribute technically to this project. It contributes in the end as the things we're already doing, but moving forward, it's not yet.
5,000 is a lot less than what you're asking of us here.
But that's their standard give. If I could ask for more, I would.
And one last question, and I need to ask it, is your presentation, or your request came in 8 days late. You have any comments on that?
Yes. Me and Ms. Jane had some really communication issues. There was an email that was sent to what we call a dump email, and so I never got it. And then I had reached out to try to find out, how can we get this in? How can we do this? And she was able to work with me so that we can still get it in, because it didn't actually come to our awareness. As you know, I'm not a Delaware County resident. I do travel in Delaware County to do this work, and so I don't have access to like the newspaper or any other means in which you would advertise that. And so that's why it came in, and I don't know if it was 8 days.
That's what our paperwork says.
Okay. Okay. All right. It was no fault of my own and or Ms. Jane's. It was literally just sent to, and I even spoke to Sarah DeNovo about it when we had the address to the county, and I asked her, what happened with the emails and all those things, and so that's the reason why.
Thank you.
Are you done? Yeah. Question, have you been able to take advantage of the Arts Castle? And the Arts Castle offers classes for children in arts and then dance, and just wondered if that might be an option too, to use.
They are not financially able to provide services to the underserved population without a fee. So there's no way for me to access them with the community in which we serve. But what I do have there's no way for me to access it. It's a barrier. You know, if the
So-
resident can't pay for it, then we would still have to get money in some way to provide a scholarship for that resident to then pay Arts Castle, so we would be cycling the same funds.
So the arts, I see, so you're saying there's a fee for a student to attend?
Whereas we provide all of our services for free.
Yeah. Let's see.
And the reason that that is extremely important for this county is because not all residents can afford to send their child to develop their arts. It doesn't mean that child doesn't deserve or has the skill set to do it. And so
Sure.
I'm extremely passionate about being able to provide all our services for free.
Okay, sure. Any other questions?
Yeah, Carrie Joy, thank you. You guys have done some wonderful things. It's great to see.
With your guys' help.
The programs continue to provide service and grow and so on. And our challenge, however, is we've got a limited amount of funds, and we've got, I don't know, 15 to 20 applicants. 66,000, I think, is the largest of all the asks. Is there any way of prioritizing, breaking that down?
Definitely.
In smaller pieces?
Definitely.
that we could
It's
look at?
easy to just do the FAA this year, or maybe just do languages this year. I mean, all those things can be modified. It will be all based off of the funds in which I receive is how I will modify that grant.
Could you send us a priority list of that?
Yeah,
Make
maybe
that
that.
simple, just send us a, because that may be helpful as we sit down and
Okay.
try to figure out how we're going
Yeah.
to.
Okay. Yeah, and I would also say that I want to empower you to also determine what is a priority, because is it more of a priority that you feel that the county would benefit more from people who are more bilingual compared to people who have an FAA certification? You know, these are people who can turn around and then be employed within the county, and when we look at jobs within the county, which is a bigger picture than me, right? You guys would know that. Is bilingual individuals more important for employment now compared to an FAA certification? So I would empower you too to look at what is also a priority for the county and going to gear the most success.
Yeah, good question, Carrie Joy.
See, I think if you do it based on your, the chair you're setting in, with the understanding that we would have to take that into consideration, but I think it'd be helpful, because you're close to it, you know the needs of these students much better than we do, and where they are in their learning level, and that would be helpful, then we can take it from there, but it would be helpful. So,
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
And again, I do
coming in.
apologize for it being late. Unfortunately, it was just not something that was avoidable. I didn't have an opportunity to do it on time. All right, thank
Well,
you.
we're just glad you're here, and appreciate your coming in and sharing your needs. And I do like the idea of prioritizing, just so we get to see this through your eyes too, as far as, knowing the students. And
Well,
Be
and
helpful.
students and adults, because we're intergenerational.
Oh, and
So yes,
okay,
students and adults.
We like adults too.
Yes, and
Yeah.
we did just have our baby shower, and we had 14 successful women who walked away with a lot of stuff. And
Oh,
so
that's
we
great.
just continue to grow with all the services we provide. And it is, I love the way we're growing within the county. I really do.
has the, I took the tour, it's back when we got the van. I think Commissioner Ben and I both took the tour that day.
Fascinating.
Have you done any improvements since then, or is that
Yes.
about what it looks like today?
Yes, it does look different. We've completely taken out some walls in the kitchen. We've moved some mirrors around. We're really trying to get the floors done. We do kind of have a little bit of a promise from some development investors through Mr. Cuckler that are also interested in also helping us with the flooring. So there are some other areas which we are also exploring to get some of the things done. But yeah, the walls have been painted. We've knocked out walls. We've done a lot of things since you've been there. During COVID was a great time because we were shut down, and I was like, great, we get to clean it up. And so we've moved a lot of things out, and it's been really great. The other agency that I work for, Cancer Support Community of Central Ohio, we were also able to donate a lot of rolling chairs and tables, which was a huge difference in our 4-H program and other things that, I'm sorry, Megan, our education coordinator, set up.
She
is with
snuck in a while ago.
Yeah, our education coordinator provides with the partnership with OSU and 4-H. So I know that those things have all been helpful too that we've done. So
And just one more question on the baby shower. And it went well?
it went amazing, and everything that you donated got out the window as soon as they seen it.
Good.
Yeah, it was 14 women. We bought strollers, high chairs, cribs, and they all got 4 packs of case diapers in each size, and 2 diaper bags, Bottles, clothes, toys, pack and plays. I mean, you
Oh,
name it.
good.
They had to call people for them to load up their vehicles when they left. And it was really great food too. And they got a plant and decorations and things like that. So
That's the first time you've done that? or-
it's our second annual baby shower. We
Oh,
really
you do it annually, okay.
Yep, this is our second annual. It's a spring thing,
Yeah,
spring
it
babies
was-
kind of thing. We really want to get up to at least 20 women. That's the goal right now. So we were prepared for 20, but we only got 14.
Gosh, so that's, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Boy,
Natalie
that's-
did
that's
an amazing
great.
job.
They got a lot of help.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
Thank you.
that's
I
great.
appreciate you all.
Thank you,
Take
Have
guys.
a good day.
Have a good day, guys.
All right, and that is our last participant. Is there any other business to come before us today?
No, is there, Jennifer?
Nope, not that I know of.